This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I want to create really great access for the community, really activate the property. Because as you see right now, we're sitting here and there's really nothing going on. The best views of the bay are from the cars parked in this lot here.
How do you transform acres of parking lots into a hub for the arts and culture lush with green space? That's the goal of Bayfront 2020, and tonight we'll hear from some of the key players helping push towards that vision for Sarasota's Bayfront. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC7 at 7. We'll have much more on Bayfront 2020 coming up in a moment. But first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin tonight with yet another Suncoast city taking a big step towards trying to regulate medical marijuana. This time, it is the city of Bradenton, which is moving closer towards imposing a 180-day moratorium on dispensaries. Today, the City Council voted in favor of a moratorium. A dispensary company, Trulieve, has already purchased property in the city. The mayor says the city needs time to create regulations.
We just don't know these dispensing facilities, how they're going to operate, how they're going to fit in our zoning, how they're going to fit in city codes.
The city will hold a final hearing on the medical marijuana moratorium on Wednesday, December 14th. A Suncoast pharmacy will pay nearly $1 million to resolve allegations of healthcare fraud. The U.S. Attorney's Office says Englewood-based Lemon Bay Drugs, along with Brooksville Drugs, have agreed to pay a total of $750,000 to the government for violating the False Claims Act. Both pharmacies submitted claims to Medicare and Medicaid for prescriptions that were never dispensed. A former pharmacy technician who worked at Lemon Bay Drugs blew the whistle and will now receive $142,000 as her share of the settlement. Florida's Department of Transportation is getting closer to completing working on the diverging diamond at University, but it is only the start of projects on I-75. 2 additional interchange projects are set to begin this coming year. Construction on State Road 64 interchange is expected to begin in the summer of 2017, and the State Road 70 project will start after the diverging diamond project is complete. Both will be widened in an attempt to alleviate some of the congestion as Manatee County community continues to grow. The total price tag for both projects, $160 million. A messy accident on I-75 delayed traffic during the morning rush hour. According to the Florida Highway Patrol, a truck transporting pig carcasses spilled some of its load on the northbound lanes of I-75 near the Fruitful Road exit. Around 8 this morning, FHP closed 2 northbound lanes so crews could clean up the remains. The lanes remained open about 2 hours later. Sarasota County Sheriff's deputies are investigating a credit card skimmer that was found at a BP gas station on North Lockwood Ridge Road. The skimmer was inside one of the gas pumps. Customers who have recently bought gas at the station should check their bank statements for any suspicious transactions, and deputies remind people to pay with cash or a credit card when possible and check for signs of tampering at the pump. We have been reporting on the number of school lockdowns around Sarasota in recent weeks. Now, the school board wants to make sure communications are clear when these incidents take place. Last night, members questioned why they hadn't been directly told when lockdowns were taking place. With less than 2 weeks ago, Venice High was evacuated when the student called in a fake bomb threat. The very next day, 3 Sarasota schools were put on lockdown after a gun was stolen from a car at a nearby dealership. No students were hurt, but board members say communication needs to be improved.
With security, there's always room for improvement. So we always look at these situations. We kind of debrief after a situation and get input from various people and look at the ways we can improve our communication.
The district says it will work down on lockdown procedures. Meanwhile, students at Pineview are getting a lesson in growing vegetables in space. Ed Rosenthal, the chairman of Sarasota-based company Florican, gave a lesson on the challenges of growing plants in space because of the lack of gravity, natural light, and soil. One of Florican's fertilizers is certified by NASA as a space technology product and is being used to grow vegetables in space for the astronauts.
After many years of rigorous research, that they had selected our controlled release fertilizer to be used in space to grow vegetables for the astronauts.
Some of the plants need more time to grow than others, and others aren't ready to harvest yet sometimes.
Rosenthal tells us his technology isn't just limited to space, but he also has applications here on the Earth. And Bob, I find that just fascinating.
It is fascinating. Think about it. We're moving in that direction, you know, growing plants up in space on other planets. That's a little bit out there, but it is moving along. I tell you what, we are looking at nice weather out in space, looking down on us. Clear skies, really. Get a look at the temperature now. 68 degrees, dew point 51. Winds out of the north-northwest at 6, and the pressure's been rising, 2997. But the humidity has been so low as a result of some dry air that continues to funnel in behind that front, which has now cleared the state and continues to push away. Hardly any clouds to be found at all today across the entire Gulf of Mexico. It has been unusually dry as a result of this frontal passage, and the forecast through this evening calling for temperatures to drop down into the low 60s. Under clear skies, that's your evening planner, so no problems there. And there's that dry air I mentioned. You can see it funneling all across the Gulf and from Texas all the way to South Carolina tonight and covering the entire state of Florida at this time. Well, the hourly forecast overnight does call for temperatures to be slightly below average. It'll be a nice, comfortable, cool start to the day on Thursday with fair skies and plenty of sunshine in the morning. Temperatures will rebound, though. We'll see highs back slightly above average tomorrow up and down the coast. Winds were strong today out of the north and northwest. They're still a bit brisk out on the waters, but inland areas anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour from Waterleaf all the way over to Warm Mineral Springs and Inglewood now at 12 miles an hour out of the northwest, to 12 at Venice. Well, we are watching this area down to our south. The chances are increasing over the next couple of days. It's up to 30% of it becoming a tropical system, but still, we'll show you the forecast path and tracks. At least most of the models suggesting it's going to stay well away from us.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it sure does.
Thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, Bayfront 2020. It's a plan years in the making to redevelop some of the most important prime property in Sarasota. When we return, we'll hear from the volunteers heading up that effort.
Hurricane season is here, so when severe weather threatens, count on the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7.
We bring you storm warnings faster and with more detail than ever before.
And track storms right down to your neighborhood.
On air, online, and on your mobile device. Turn to the official Suncoast Storm Team at ABC7. We're here for you.
Come meet the artists and enjoy their creations at the Sarasota Fine Art Festival. Over 100 artists and thousands of works of contemporary art in photography, glass, sculpture, jewelry, and much more. The 4th Annual Sarasota Fine Art Festival. Saturday and Sunday, November 19th and 20th at Selby 5 Points Park in downtown Sarasota. Bring your love and appreciation of art to the Sarasota Fine Art Festival. For more information, visit ParagonArtEvents.com.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967. Alex Karras Lincoln's holiday sales event is here. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $269 per month, or a 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We're located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
In our ongoing series, Suncoast 2037, we are taking a look at what our area could be like in the year 2037. The vision is clear when it comes to Sarasota Bay, thanks to a plan called Bayfront 2020. ABC7's Ray Collins has a closer look.
Inside the Van Wezel, it can be loud. But outside, it's quiet. Very quiet. There are birds, benches, and parking spots. Rows and rows of parking spots. In fact, some say this is just a vast cement wasteland on the waterfront that could have been planned much better.
Do you question our forefathers for how they laid things out down here?
You know, in researching this whole 42-acre property back to the 1965 documents, there was a bigger vision than what they completed. In fact, it was a 3-phase project, and what we've ended up with was only phase 1.
And now, Michael Klauber and other volunteers want to finish the job that began 50 years ago.
Tonight will be remembered as a moment at which history was made.
He's been working several years now with a group called Bayfront 2020.
The idea of that whole name came from the fact that we would like to see significant progress made by the year 2020, and the ocular 20:20 because it's going to take clear, focused vision to see that through.
Helping to see it through is a new board of directors, also volunteers, who will hire a project manager.
The concept is that there will be a project manager and a master planning firm that would be hired to do the master plan for the property.
And as to what will actually go here?
Clearly our community has said that they want this to a lot of green open space. They'd like to see the cultural and performing arts be a centerpiece on the property.
With a mix of public and private dollars, Klauber says the board will review years of community input and then hopefully jumpstart this property.
Because as you see right now, we're sitting here and there's really nothing going on.
All right, there's a lot of opportunity, but there's a lot of risk.
Dan Lobeck founded a group called Control Growth Now. When it comes to the Bayfront, he worries about 2 things: public access.
And number 2, this isn't just a bunch of sweetheart deals to enrich developers at the public expense.
But overall, Lobeck sees this as a good opportunity to change the property to a better use because he agrees it is now largely wasted with parking lots.
Beautiful environment that we've got.
Klauber assures this whole process will be transparent and open to the public. He has gone on record saying there would be ground broken by the end of 2017, but some say that might be a little ambitious now.
And I might be out here with a shovel, digging a little dirt in one corner to plant some trees, but I feel confident that we're going to see some great work done by the end of next year.
Because Klauber says he doesn't want to waste many more years with an underutilized bayfront.
It is pretty amazing to sit here and think about how the best views of the bay are from the parking lot.
On Sarasota's Bayfront, Ray Collins, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
When we return, we'll speak with 2 members of Bayfront 2020's planning organization about the pace of the project and how soon we could see some changes.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer,
We have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Totoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
On horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
Welcome back. Tonight we are discussing the plans to redevelop the 42 acres along Sarasota Bay. The group Bayfront 2020 was formed in 2013, a group of community leaders hoping to create a roadmap for how land from the quay to the Van Wezel could be transformed as we approach 2020. The project is gaining momentum. The newly formed Sarasota Bayfront Planning Organization is responsible for creating a master plan and hiring a project manager. They hope to break ground by next December. And joining us with more is Bayfront 2020 is Michael Klauber, who serves as volunteer chairman, and John Thaxton, vice president of community investment for the Gulf Coast Community Foundation. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And Michael, we'll start with you and ask, because people are watching this now and they want to know what to expect.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, and it's been a very, very exciting period since 2013 when we started this journey. You know, we've now got 55 organizations, community organizations, neighborhoods, foundations, civic organizations, and arts organizations that have all gotten together to create this document that is our basis for what's going to happen, called our Vision and Guiding Principles for the Development of Sarasota Bayfront.
So what are we talking about here? Are we talking about public spaces with other arts, entertainment, restaurants, all the above?
Well, you know, we've spent this 3+ years really getting all of the data and all the information together. One of the things that we were able to get from the city was basically a due diligence of all the things that are on the 42-acre property that's owned by the city, which is the home of the Van Wezel, the orchestra, the lawn bowlers, the garden club. I mean, there's so many people on that property. It's extensive, it's broad, and we don't have any specific plans yet, because the idea is you're going to take this set of guiding principles and this vision, you're going to take all the data that we've collected, all the information from all the different organizations that are either on the property now or have a dream of being there, and try to sort all of that information out so that it gives us basically this vision, which it says, we want to create a long-term master plan for the Sarasota Bayfront area that will establish a cultural and economic legacy for the region while ensuring open public access to the Bayfront.
John, you study these things in terms of the future success of our community and getting the most out of these acres. What needs to go in there?
Well, I think the community has been very clear as to what they want to see as the ultimate result of the planning process, not specifically, but in general terms. And in general terms, they acknowledge that this is an ideal site for arts and cultural organizations to have their performance venues, such as we have now at the Sarasota Orchestra, Van Wezel, and others. But the message that we received resoundingly in the thousands of individuals that participated in the planning process is they did not want to see privatization of this property. They wanted to see it remain in the public domain, and they wanted to see the asphalt parking lot activated in a green space, an open space where families and people can come to recreate.
What exactly does that mean? Are we talking about there won't be restaurants and shops for people to visit?
Absolutely not. No. In order to have, just as we see now with Van Wezel, we have an associate restaurateur who provides for meals and catering and things like that. Possibly there's liable to be small boutique shops that would cater to that. But what you're not going to see is the over-commercialization of the site with the green space and the open space loss and just have a sea of asphalt.
Can either of you give me some examples from other communities out there of what you're talking about? Or areas along the waterfront in other communities?
We've visited communities all over the country to learn best practices, not necessarily to see the best facilities, but to figure out how communities work together to be successful. I think one of the most successful projects that we saw was the Brooklyn Bridge Park in New York, which was really a blighted area, which used a similar process of community involvement to our guiding principles and vision to create a beautiful waterfront setting.
What is there?
What's there? It's a beautiful park. It's starting to develop some other amenities on it as well. People want to be close to it. They want to be connected to it. It's a brilliant project. Okay. And so that was probably one of the best waterfront examples I think that we've seen, unless you can think of others, John.
Well, I tend to shy away from that sort of question, not from being evasive, but one of the things that I've learned about Sarasota is we don't want to do it like you did it over there.
Yeah.
You know, Sarasota is a very special place, and we want to have a very special bayfront, and that's what we intend on creating.
And why don't we pick up on that in just a minute? Our discussion of Bayfront 2020 is just getting started, but when we return, we'll have a full look at your weather forecast.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
I'm calling in regards about my mother, and I'm here, and I just want to thank you because it saved my mother's life yesterday. And I'd like to know the names of the people that came in and saved her so I could call and thank them. And she's doing fine. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you.
When you fall and cannot get up, an accident can turn into a tragedy. But with Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast. Life Alert saves a person from a catastrophe every 10 minutes.
Life Alert is a lifesaver. If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-652-3012. That's 1-800-652-3012. Call now 1-800-652-3012. For a free brochure, call 1-800-652-3012.
It might be a nice night to be out on that bayfront right now, if not a little bit chilly. Let's go to ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan for a check on the forecast. Bob.
Thanks, Alan. Here is a shot from that bayfront right there from the Van Wezel webcam. Getting a look at a beautiful shot right there, looking out toward the Ringling Bridge. Seas were a little high earlier today, but the wind's starting to come down a bit. Hardly any clouds to be found. That's a result of extreme dry air mass that has moved in behind a cold front that is going to cool us down a little bit for this evening. Overnight lows expected to be a few degrees below average. And Norm Schimmel getting this photo this morning of the moon there. The moon causing some extreme high tides too last night. Some of the water washing over on some of the areas near the bayfront as well as near the Manatee River. Irene getting that as the sun was going down. Kind of an interesting shot right there. Near the lamppost. As far as the evening forecast goes, looking pretty good. Clear skies all the way through, and 63 the temperature at 11 o'clock. Currently at 68 degrees. The dew point is what is so nice now. 51 degrees, and winds are out of the northwest at 6. So the winds have come down. The pressure is coming up as high pressure is building in from the west, and that always means fair skies as a result of that. We'll see a nice sunny day tomorrow. 81 degrees the high, a little bit above average, but it didn't feel like it because of the cool start this morning. On top of that, the extremely low humidity around, the record low 34 degrees. No rainfall to report today. It's been dry so far. For the month of November, we're over an inch below average, and we don't see any rain in sight, despite the fact there's another cold front that's going to move through, and this next cold front is going to be a strong one. You'll notice it big time on Sunday and Monday of next week. 56 degrees in Jacksonville, 66 in Orlando now, 73 in Miami, already down to 60 in Tallahassee, and inland areas into the upper 50s in places like Sebring and also Arcadia now at 59 degrees, and the Gulf temperature has cooled down to 73. That's taken at the end of the Venice Pier, and Venice now at 70, 69 in Cortez, and Braden checks in at 67. Lows tonight to start the day off tomorrow will be into the mid-50s inland, upper 50s to mid-50s right near the coast. A little bit warmer on Siesta Key and Longboat Key as well as Anna Maria Island. We'll see temperatures right around 60 degrees there, but some 7 degrees cooler in places like Parrish. Now, the forecast is not changing much tomorrow. We'll see similar conditions as we saw today. The only difference will be the winds won't be as strong, and it'll be a beautiful day, though. Sunshine through it. High temperatures about a degree above average, right around 80 degrees, the anticipated high. Show you this dry air mass. Well, here it is. This is the water vapor content in the atmosphere into the mid to upper levels, and it just covers the entire Gulf of Mexico. This dry air will stay in place too. Unfortunately, we could use a little bit of rainfall around, high fire risk in this kind of situation as a result of the strong winds and extreme low humidity. The tropical update, well, we're still talking tropics. You can see quite clearly some rotation and circulation here in the Southwest Caribbean. And the National Hurricane Center watching this closely for an 80% chance of developing into possibly Otto in the next 5 days. The chances of it in the next couple of days at 30%. Conditions are favorable for some development there. But get a look at this. The forecast models show it just kind of milling around over the Southwest Caribbean and then eventually taking off toward the Northeast. So Florida not a player with this particular storm system, so that'll be good. There's the front. It's expected to move through our area again on late Saturday and into Sunday. For boaters, winds out of the northeast at 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet with a light chop out there, so better conditions for boaters. The extended forecast looks good for the Waterfest in Englewood Beach. It should be great weather for that, for the block party on Friday, turning cooler on Sunday and chilly on Monday. Alan will be right back after this.
An important message for Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you receiving all the benefits available to you? Do you know there is money available to lower your Medicare prescription costs? Now's the time to find the coverage that's right for you at the right price. The way to do that is to explore your options. You can spend hours doing that yourself, or you can call Health Markets and let us do the legwork for you with no cost or obligation. We'll search a variety of plans from nationally recognized companies to find the coverage that's the best fit for you at a price that fits your budget, and we'll do it at no charge to you. Plus, you may be able to save money on prescriptions. We'll tell you if you qualify. Why pay a penny more than you have to for an insurance policy? Let us find you the right plan at the right price and see if you qualify to lower your prescription costs. Put our free service to work for you at no charge.
Call the number on the screen now to make sure you're getting all the benefits you deserve. Don't wait. Call now.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
This is a special health alert for seniors suffering with joint pain. If you have Medicare insurance, you may qualify for high-quality support braces at little or no cost.
I'm thrilled with my knee braces.
Now, there is a simple and proven solution for seniors to get out of pain with state-of-the-art support braces.
I barely feel any pain at all.
Braces for your knees and back, as well as your shoulders and ankles, too.
I'm so happy with the quality of these braces.
Call now, and you could qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost.
I can play ball again, and it doesn't hurt.
And because of my Medicare coverage, it costs me next to nothing.
So call now.
And because I have this red, white, and blue Medicare card, my braces have cost me just about nothing.
It's true. You may get a knee, back, shoulder, and ankle brace at little or no cost.
They qualified me for 2 knee braces and a back brace.
If you have knee or back pain, give them a call. They can help.
1-800-476-8967. 1-800-476-8967.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, we are discussing Bayfront 2020. Our guests tonight are Michael Klauber, who serves as volunteer chairman for Bayfront 2020, and John Thaxton, the vice chair of the community investment for the Gulf Coast Community Foundation. So people are wondering tonight, they're watching this, they know that downtown Sarasota is such a beautiful area, but there's been something lacking, and they kind of want to get an idea of what that will be. And aside from the grand vision, what can you tell them to kind of look at?
Well, the whole process of this started with realizing that there was so much property in play, the 42 acres, the Quay property, some of the properties across the street, the park to the north, and there really wasn't anyone looking at the big picture. There was really 75 acres in play all at the same time. And the question for me and others was, what are they going to say 50 years from now about the decisions that we're making for our community now?
John, I would imagine there are communities who do this right and communities who don't do it right. What do you have to take into consideration?
Well, the communities oftentimes that do it right are faced with some sort of a crisis. There's something that's presented to the community that says we have to do something immediately, we have to do it right now. Sarasota is not necessarily faced with that kind of a crisis. So our initiative is one of more of a proactive motivation. So we're suggesting that in spite of not having a crisis moment to react to, we have an opportunity to react to, as Michael just described. And so we want to take what the communities did in response to a crisis, only we want to do it proactively. We want to do it voluntarily to make sure that this missing element of this beautiful Sarasota downtown has an intimate connection to the Bayfront. That's kind of what's driving us.
Is there a basically a complicated correlation that you have to make here in terms of our city government, our county government, how it works, and how these plans can be made?
Wow, John, I'm going to let you answer that.
So ultimately,
you're the former politician.
Yeah, and there's not a great deal of opposition in the Sarasota Bayfront planning process with the city and county. This is one of those examples where they're in more unison than in opposition.
Right, but we do not have a strong mayor form of government, and in many communities, it's the mayor who spearheads a development project.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true. It is true in some respects, but in many of the models that we saw, it was the private sector that spearheaded these activities, and that's why we chose in this particular initiative to do it completely outside of the government purview.
Right.
We have not asked for permission for what we're doing. We have not sought approval. The Sarasota Bayfront Planning Organization is not appointed by the City Commission. This is completely an organic process that is led by the citizenry.
Right, but my point is there, all you have to do is look up the road in Tampa where you have Jeff Vinnick, the owner of the Lightning, a billionaire, getting Microsoft founder Bill Gates involved, and they are transforming the downtown of Tampa. But again, that is a distinct leader pushing his vision, and what we're talking about here in Sarasota is something a little bit different.
We have the Sarasota Bayfront Planning Organization does not lack in leadership. They're some of the strongest national and international business leaders that one can imagine that happen to be in Sarasota, and they have now the destiny of this Bayfront parcel in their sights, and I would put them up against a Vinnick or other scenarios like that any day. I think we're on the right course. We have the right leadership. We have the right timing. And the outcome, I think, will be equal to the examples that you're giving.
Michael, you know what a lot of people who are watching this right now are saying. How are you going to pay for it?
Well, so far, as John alluded to, we haven't asked the county or the city for any money. So this has all been privately funded. So it will be a combination of different funding models. But part of the master planning process is going to be bringing a master plan back to the city and the county that's viable for the future.
What kind of funding models?
Boy, there's so many different ways that different communities do it, and every single community we've been to has done it in a different way. But the centerpiece of it is going to come from the private sector.
I want to ask both of you gentlemen, are you confident that, you laid it out specifically, 2020. I have been in many communities that have a waterfront, and every couple of years a new plan comes out, and for some reason, years later, it never happens. Or can you assure people who live in this community that this is happening?
This is the third or fourth or maybe fifth go around for this particular initiative, depending on where you count. We've been to communities where it's taken them 25 or 30 years to do it. So clearly there's a lot of examples of where it has taken an extraordinarily long time, generational, to get it done. But we think that we have the personnel in place, and we have the motivation behind the community. One of the things that we find in many of the communities where it took so long to actually happen was they got great plans but didn't have community support. Yeah. So one of the messages that was very clear to us is build the community support first. We have 55 of the most prominent organizations in the city and the county supporting the guiding principles and the vision. That will provide the platform for the philanthropy and for the government agencies to launch a successful plan from.
I would imagine there are a lot of calculations that have to go into this. You want it to be a public space and keep the beauty of that area, but you also, I would imagine, would like area businesses to be able to grow and prosper from what goes in there.
Absolutely. I mean, we're an arts and cultural icon in Florida. John Ringling set us up for that 100 years ago. 50 years ago, when they built the Van Wezel, it was one of only 3 performing arts halls in all of the state of Florida. So we've been leaders in performing arts, cultural arts for decades and decades. And we know that that's a centerpiece of our community. It needs to be preserved.
And that's the next question. The Van Wezel is such a jewel. And we are so lucky around here to get the performing arts and the people who come and perform there. People are going to want to make sure that that will not be adversely affected whatsoever.
The Van Wezel Foundation has been doing its studies, the Orchestra Foundation doing its studies, so it's hoped that in parallel with the planning organization doing the master plan, that those organizations will be doing their studies and finalizing their needs for whatever facilities they feel like they need. We've been making them think about the next 25 to 50 years. And that's hard for a lot of folks to do, to say, what do we think we're going to need 50 years from now? But those are the questions we need to be asking.
What has to happen in the next couple of months for this project to remain on schedule and to meet the goal of this going up by 2020?
The Sarasota Bayfront Planning Organization needs to hire a project manager and a subsequent design engineer firm that will take all of the information and all of the questions that you've asked tonight and all of the questions that we have received from the City Commission and from the community and assimilate them into a master plan that meets the standards of this community. The first thing are the hiring of the project manager and the firm.
Michael, we have less than a minute, but I want to ask you this. When people come up to you and ask you about this, what is the most often asked question?
When are we going to see something? What is it going to be? How are you going to connect the Bayfront to the downtown area? Those are the big questions. And the greatest thing that we've been able to do, my great lesson has been to be a good listener. And we've listened to the community now for 3+ years, as John said, with 55 organizations all in agreement that, this document stands well for our future. I feel very confident that if we stick to our guns, everybody may not get everything they want, but if we all work together, we'll all win.
I appreciate it. This is very exciting stuff. We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll have final thoughts with our guests, plus comments from our viewers on the plan to build a new overpass for I-75.
Hurricane season is here. Are you prepared? ABC7 has the information you need. Access our special Surviving a Hurricane now. Learn how to prepare a readiness plan and survival kit. Know your evacuation route. Be prepared, Suncoast, when severe weather threatens. Access our special on our ABC7 app and all our live streaming platforms.
Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
On horrendously cold nights, on days when the rain has been relentless, or when the sun is beating down, there is an animal trapped with no protection, fighting to stay alive. Time is running out for them, but you can help save them by joining the ASPCA today. With your donation of just $18 a month, you'll help rescue abused and neglected animals, provide them with food, shelter, and medical care. When you go online or call in the next 10 minutes, we'll send you this free membership kit and our limited edition 150th anniversary t-shirt. It's just 60 cents a day to pull animals out of a terrible life. Don't let them suffer another day. Please help now.
Welcome back. We are redeveloping Sarasota's Bayfront and to establish a cultural and economic legacy for the region. And our guests tonight join us for final thoughts. And during the break, we were talking about the Lens project in St. Pete to replace the pyramid that everybody remembers there. And you both gentlemen told us that is an example of how not to do it. Right, Michael?
It's a really opposite process from what we've done. And what we've learned as we've traveled around the country and talked to community after community that's seen how we're doing it, so many of them said, we wish we would have used the process that you're using in Sarasota.
Because essentially what they did was they tore down the pyramid, and the government came out with a plan for the Lens, if you remember, and then the public reaction to it was awful. Mm-hmm. So, lesson learned?
Lesson learned. We have gone to some small listening audiences of 5 up to 100. Some of them have been with young professional groups where we've sponsored beer events, and there's no audience that we haven't refused, but we wanted to make sure that we had clear and resounding support for the foundation of where we were going before we enacted a vision.
Finally, we only have a couple of seconds left, but Michael, when will we have more specifics about what will go in there?
I think we're going to see a lot in the next year. As you heard, I'd love to see us making some serious progress by the end of next year. But what I would suggest for people is research the website that Sarasota Bayfront 2020 has created, the guiding principles, every document that's been reviewed or thought about, even back to the early plans for the Van Wezel from the mid-60s. It's all there. It's a great education.
We'll have to leave it there. But before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about the story that we brought you last night. Sarasota County wants to build a 4-lane bridge over the interstate to connect Cattleman Road to Lakewood Ranch Boulevard. The $20 million project would be built between University Parkway and Fruitville Road. It may still be several years away, but here's what some of you are saying about the plan. Barry Kwartnick writes, "The people of Sarasota are strange. whine about the traffic, and then when the solution happens, people then whine about the construction. As someone who uses the part of Cattleman Road often enough, I think it is a smart move. Kyle X writes, you wonder why we complain. You can't go anywhere in the county without taking 30 minutes because of delays for construction. And Richard Geib writes, this project is sorely needed. Let's get this fast tracked. Well, if you'd like to join the conversation about tonight's topic, just visit our Facebook page at facebook.com/news7. And FYI, want to watch past roundtable discussions? They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Michael Klauber is a volunteer chairman for Bayfront 2020, and John Thaxton is the vice president of community development for the Gulf Coast Community Foundation. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus cracking down on lobbyists in Tallahassee. The House and Senate may both be controlled by Republicans, but they're split on the best way to keep money out of our politics. The details are coming up in Primetime Headlines.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Come meet the artists and enjoy their creations at the Sarasota Fine Art Festival. Over 100 artists and thousands of works of contemporary art in photography, glass, sculpture, jewelry, and much more. The 4th Annual Sarasota Fine Art Festival, Saturday and Sunday, November 19th and 20th at Selby Five Points Park in downtown Sarasota. Bring your love and appreciation of art to the Sarasota Fine Art Festival. For more information, visit ParagonArtEvents.com.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in just a moment, but right now let's get a check on the weather from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Not many complaints about our weather today. It was gorgeous out there. Lots of sunshine, low humidity, high temperatures, right around 80 degrees. That's typical of November. November, one of the best months here along the southwest coast, and it proved to be the case today. The Storm Team official forecast is showing fair skies, and that's what we saw this morning as Norm Shimmo shot that moon there, partially full. It was slowly waning away right now. And Irene getting this one. Looks like a lamp, but it's really the sun setting with the lamppost there and just happened to set up just perfectly. Evening forecast looks good. 63 degrees by 11 o'clock. And as far as the overall conditions go right now, it's 68 degrees. We're looking at fair skies and winds out of the north-northwest at 6. The high today did manage to get up a little bit above average, but it is close to it. This morning's low was nice at 57. We'll look for similar conditions again tomorrow morning with low temperatures in the low to mid-50s well inland and into the mid-50s to upper 50s right near the coast. We could use a little bit of rainfall around. I know the grass is starting to look a little bit brown out there in some areas. And 56 degrees in Jacksonville, 66, 10 degrees warmer. Orlando, 73 still in Key West and in Miami. And temperatures are already dropping in the 50s in some places like Sebring and Lake Placid and Arcadia. Much warmer near the coast as the water temperature at 74 keeps things a little bit milder, especially with the northwest wind right near the coast. So lows tonight will be in the mid-50s to lower 50s well inland, mid to upper 50s right near the coast. Sarasota downtown should be around 57 degrees. Same in Bradenton, a little bit warmer out at Anna Maria. Now, as far as the overall forecast goes, we are anticipating another absolutely outstanding day tomorrow. Get out there and enjoy it. Lots of sunshine around. Not as windy either. Winds will be out of the north and northeast at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Today they were up to 15 at times. We showed you this graphic earlier. This kind of gives us an indication if we can see any clouds around or any kind of chance for rain. Whenever you see this dry air in place on our scale that you see, you're not going to see any rainfall, or for that matter, hardly any clouds, because the atmosphere is just so dry in the mid to upper levels, but we could still see some lower clouds popping up now and again, but it's going to be mostly sunny throughout the day on Thursday. Well, the tropical update, not mostly sunny here in the Southwest Caribbean, as we're getting some clouds there gathering around an area of low pressure, which is showing some signs of organization. Although the Hurricane Center has kept that 80% chance of developing over the next 5 days in place. They brought that up yesterday to 80% at 11 o'clock, and it stays there right now. And so it looks like it will eventually turn into a tropical depression or possibly even tropical storm, and then move off very slowly to the northeast. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Right now, indications are that it should not, and more than likely will not be a factor for us here in Florida. Well, high pressure is the reason why things are so dry. Sinking air heats up adiabatically and causes the atmosphere to really dry out, and that's what we're seeing right now. And then the front comes down, producing snow showers, winter returning across the northern plain states there, and we will eventually see some of that cold air here, beginning especially on Sunday. And you'll notice it, jackets and sweaters for early tea times, both on Sunday morning and Monday morning. And northeast winds at 10 knots. A light chop out there, seas running right around 2 feet. The water temperature now at 73 degrees. And tides upcoming. The next high tide will be at 12:37, a low at 9:17. The forecast tonight, slightly below average, mostly fair, cool, 57 tomorrow. Sunny, not as windy, 79. The extended forecast as promised, beautiful through Saturday. Nice too on Sunday, just a bit cooler. We'll have much more. Alan will be back right after this.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on a pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
Call right now to get your free Senior Care Compass ebook. Find out about the 5 best-kept secrets on financing senior care and assisted living.
Call now, 800-290-0352. 800-290-0352.
Now for a look at your primetime headlines. While President-elect Donald Trump remains mostly hidden from the public, he is taking part in meetings as he considers who should fill key positions in his administration and his cabinet. While critics say confusion and controversy are plaguing the transition, his team says they're making excellent progress. ABC's Maggie Rulli is in Washington with more.
Went very, very well.
The transition of power continues. Vice President Joe Biden sitting down with VP-elect and transition team leader Mike Pence in Washington today, as Pence deals with his very long to-do list that critics say is clouded in confusion. One of Trump's top national security advisors reportedly forced to resign. Governor Chris Christie ousted. Ben Carson declining consideration for a potential Trump cabinet slot. And Democrats on the Hill are up in arms over Trump's new White House counselor Stephen Bannon and his ties to the alt-right and white nationalists.
The beginning of any transition like this has turmoil.
Team Trump reminding reporters that their transition timeline matches other administrations as Trump continues to host a steady stream of potential cabinet nominees at Trump Tower in New York City.
Well, you don't form a federal government overnight, and these are very serious issues, very serious appointments.
But not everyone is excited to be associated with the Trump brand. Trump's name was removed from a few buildings in Manhattan after residents petitioned to have it changed last month. And just like many parts of the country, protests have rocked Trump's hometown nearly every day since he was elected. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio met with Trump today to voice the protesters' concerns.
I also raised concerns about some of the messages and some of the rhetoric that for so many people have been hurtful.
We're still waiting for the first press conference from the president-elect. When his transition team was asked today about when that would happen, they said soon. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Washington.
Despite President-elect Trump's vow to repeal Obamacare, Americans are still signing up for next year. Today, the Department of Health announced at least 1 million people have selected plans so far for 2017 open enrollment. More than 300,000 signed up in the 3 days following the election alone. More than 11 million Americans are expected to be enrolled by the deadline on January 31st. Meanwhile, President Obama is in Berlin at this hour after spending the day in Athens, Greece. The president delivered remarks to the people of Greece focusing on democratic ideals and providing a rebuttal to anti-globalization forces that have swept Europe and the world over the past year. Back here in Florida, new ethics rules for the Florida legislature are being released, but the House and Senate aren't exactly on the same page. The House is advocating for broad restrictions on lobbyists, including barring them from texting lawmakers during committee meetings. And when the House is in session, House members wouldn't be allowed to fly on planes provided by lobbyists or their clients. Meanwhile, the Senate is looking to require legislators to undergo 4 hours of ethics training every year.
We will write rules that we think are in the best interest of the people of the state and create a process where good ideas can flourish.
An organizational session will be held next Tuesday. New rules on lobbyists could be approved in time for the next legislative session in March. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.